Okay, abusua be makwa aba sonko so edeba Ghana politics avenue so. Abusua yembonra yensemu. Suspended Chief Justice Torkornoo Alester Nelson ede ensembi ababe tujwa. Oche say suspended Chief Justice no ababe betray committee na say ne investigation no. Into no anybody ya ni security personnel ni soldiers ni police for omudi na chinyina no ye withdraw sisi anon President Mahama so no I take a quick action on that or order say withdraw Chief Justice Torkornoo ni police any soldiers omudi na chinyina no wa withdraw mo asan so asho mo say omum free ni fie omo baby a say or kwa omudi na chibia no omum free na chi eni kwan say any military and police officer bia edi na chibio yensem mremo me yanko na yenkonkoti ensema ekoso unsubscribe ya subscribe like na share ma afofron so ensa into me enkabi aha Ghana politics avenue so medamase
no, say, withdraw security near the for one who look at the other me no, it shouldn't be. Look at what he talks about. No, he talks about the position as Chief Justice.
That's why there's a case of a contempt, but the High Court will have to. So this is contempt of the committee's proceedings. That's why the court, a High Court, no. Now, I will say we betray committee, no, baby, omotra venue near this, so the security is exposed. So you do know what you do. You know what you do to her first. Take her security from her. She has exposed the venue, and she has exposed. She's mentioned the name. Yes, she has mentioned the name of Daniel Fori, one of the witnesses, and mentioned the name of Gabriel Scott Panwine repeatedly. So you rather take her security away from her and let her feel the way she wants others to feel. Fantastic. And continue the case. And look, the reason for the in-camera hearing, you have broken it. The Article 146.2, you are in breach of the 1992 Constitution, madam. You are in breach of it. You have come to tell us the story as pertains in the in-camera hearing. We don't want to listen. The state does not want us to listen. That is why the state shelved it from us in this article. And there's a reason to it. You have broken the trust of the people, courting public sentiment. Yes. Now, yes, certain committee was in the middle of it. Who challenge the committee? Look at the hatred and venom coming from your mouth against Gabriel, Pamwine, Scott. What? I mean, the chairman of the committee. Look at how the words that came out of your mouth to describe
useless statement.
To describe Gabriel Pamwine Scott. How and why? That's hatred. And then one of your vilifiers, I say so because you call them vilifiers, Daniel Ofori, who has a case against you. That man, look at the words you used to describe him. Mami pa officer ubro bi so. And you've got to do a press conference.
What?
This is what I call press theatrics. Theatrics of the press. Me yesterday I didn't watch. Me you do share. If I like we be fear ko mu dum TV no. Wo imamu ni ade, mu dum TV am share. Onu ni
utie nonsense.
Yankopon emre times has really told the story. Bogabi, look, this is a clear case of what I call a brazen orgy of a facade to court public sentiments. Na nie we ono ka so tim na say o say be ade na dunu, de na nusuo nu mu. What I say?
Kura o dansu ma.
Pray biom. Inti na wie ya ba. Inti so pray. No do obi akọ. She's clutching onto straws on high oceans. Waka. Yes.
Fidie na yinu.
Ayinu. Inti Bogabi 146 na. 146 na. Yes, that is it.
I did salad to say ko here.
146 na.
The men are self prepared.
We see 146 na.
The men are boss my any appear.
Bogabi, yesterday it was a cacophony of unredeemed noises coming from that Torkornoo woman. Tell her that I said so. So the law is the law.
She's nobody.
Is the law.
She's nobody.
She has been caught up in
suspended.
Yes.
Quiet.
You called those times.
Be quiet.
That there were cacophony of noises.
Be quiet.
Today, look at you.
How's the folk you must say?
Be quiet and don't be silly. Madam Torkornoo, listen. Fantastic. The law is ahead of you.
Yes.
You rather went to learn the law. So the law is far ahead of you. And there are people who know the law better than you. You are put in your position not based on merit, but by political partisan coloration. And today it is clear. You sit with those people who appointed you at your press conference. They are the people who are running around you. A former attorney general is your lawyer. So everybody has seen your partisan coloration. Indeed, you could not be Chief Justice. Indeed, you cannot be Chief Justice as a partisan as you have demonstrated even in recent times. So your suspension
spoke about
you will never come back.
About the judges.
That's Mugabe. That's what I want to tell you.
Was shocked.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Listen, Mugabe. Anybody who wants to clutch onto that history is a wicked person. Because you're not the one who was killed. You're not the one. Kojo Japan was killed. FB Sarkodie was killed. And Justice Addo. And then Major Aqua, he was colonel. He was dropped to Major Aqua in the army because of an involvement in trying to overthrow Champon's government. That's what I heard. Mugabe, as some way see under Article Law 15 of the PNDC law, they set up a committee quickly, a special investigations board, and do a Justice Azukrab, Samuel Azukrab. If you know his name in legal history, go and find out. He was a former Chief Justice of Ghana. He was made to head the Special Investigations Board to oversee the trouble that had come. It was on 3rd July that Rawlings 1982 was briefed. Quickly, when they set up the board, investigations started. And don't think that we don't know the history. People were arrested and brought before the court. Yes, you have Lance Corporal America and Lance Corporal Michael Senya, and then you have Johnny Jandu and Tony Teko, and then Joaquim Amate Kwe. These 5 people were brought and tried in the competent tribunal and sentenced to death. In the middle of the trial, America ran away. You can check in 1983, June 1983, breakout from this. He managed to run away. He ran away with Johnny Jandu and Tony Teko, but they were rearrested and brought back. But America got away. So those people were sentenced. And even when they were sentenced, former President Rawlings went to Joaquim Amate Kwe to hear his last words because of certain allegations that were going on around certain individuals that were close to Rawlings. I don't want to say this thing, but Mugabe, when Captain Kojo Chikata was about to pass on, he made a comment on air. He made a comment in the media that very painful comment. And I still share those sympathies that somebody who knew nothing about it. So Rawlings went to where Amate Kwe was to find out from him, finally, what the true story was. And indeed, people were indeed sent to prison. People were shot. Amate Kwe was killed by firing squad. So Mugabe, assembling in SCA, the SIB sat, they had their investigations, they prosecuted, and people were executed. It's 45 years or 44 years down the line when the judges were murdered. Why would anybody at this time try to clutch onto those straws? It's because they have belonged to that school of thought for a long time. And nobody has questioned them. The family of those affected, they must question this woman. You call up Edu Lodge, a horror center. Edu Lodge is part of the state's hotels commission. Go and find the state hotels and catering rest house. It was part of it. And up until today, it's close to the castle. That's where we host, our big presidents who you don't need to take them to the hotel. You understand? You have a vista, big vista that you. So Edu Lodge is not a trial center. Even your courts, you Madam Torkornoo, your courts that you presided over. When you get to Ghana courts, you are terrified. You enter any court and you have a matter with somebody, especially if it is criminal. You are terrified. Even your court environment, you couldn't change it. You are coming to tell us that Edu Lodge is what? You are talking about your uncle. You want to play on your uncle's death. And let me tell you something. I'll say it here now. Nobody hates
the time is now.
The time is now. Joaquim Amate Kwe, he was the personnel manager for Gihawk. Joaquim, what's his name? Major Samakwa was the personnel manager for Gihawk. At the time, Gihawk
give us the history, our listeners.
They had gone on demonstration led by Joaquim Amate Kwe. And they were sacked. They ransacked Parliament of 5th June 1980, and they were all sacked. They went to court several times. So who sacked them? It was you, Samakwa, who sacked them. Then lo and behold, December 1981, there's a military coup. This guy also gets power. What do you think he'll do to you? If indeed he was the one who did it, what do you think he'll do to you?
The Edu Lodge facility that the hearings are being conducted in featured very prominently in the planning of the murder of judges on June 30th, 1981. And this can be read about in the special investigative report on that terrible event in our nation's history. It will be recalled that there was a Major Samakwa, a military officer who was killed with the 3 High Court justices, who was the Director of Human Resource of Gihok. He was my uncle and my guardian when I entered the University of Ghana in September 1980. I was also living with him at the time he was abducted and murdered. Was Edu Lodge chosen for my inquiry to make me feel insecure? I think so. And I continue to hold the view that there's no reason why a judicial hearing is being conducted behind.
No, Alyssa, you know what? This woman is useless.
Yes.
And we shouldn't allow her to get nearer to that judiciary.
Suspended.
She's nobody.
No, not at all.
No, she's nobody.
6 feet.
But no,
does
he read at all? Who commissioned Edu's Lodge?
Is it not Nanado? Nanado ne refurbish or no commission here. So if it's a horror,
so
and then Nanado ne do horror now. She made a mistake in alluding to the
educate her.
30th June 1982, madam. It's not 30th June 1981. You're in a rush. And why do you want to clutch on that history? If your uncle was involved, are you your uncle? Are you your uncle? Do you know what? You think America, those in this smoke who went to pick the people up, you think they just went at gunpoint and they said, come and pass? I'm not tricking them. Say you're 2 Rollins. They have sacked Rollins. They have moved Rollins from where he is. So they need them to come and rationalize the state. So they even where they were at that position, they were coerced to follow up. One year two obi I see the deep power won't pay. I'm telling you, that's why one of the judges at that day he managed to run away. Justice at that day go and find out the High Court judge, he managed to run away when those people came because Mukachire said, mo open power. Na dey na mo pay akodi echire because who fear no yire. Why would you leave at that time in the middle of the night when you know there's a curfew? When people are looking for you, you're a senior person in the society. Why should you know there's a curfew in town?
NOPA.
There are some Mukachire wa. Ebi wo ho no baako ni ku pie o ka ni ku ni say no, stay behind, I'll go with them. Then ye ka na ye ni da odi omochi sana mema no so e ko mu fie, they told their wives to stay back. Then ye ka omo say ye 2 Rollins agu. So they knew those lawyers. I'm telling you, I spoke to a military person. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I want to tell that part of the law. That part of the law. Say lawyers now, you want to hang on to this murder of the judges. You don't want to change the judiciary too. And you don't want the judiciary to represent the people's interest. Yes. Now only but I know it's the only. And then 26 June. And then 46 years I call farm go for free. Ebe kuom wateshi enu de yanka wasem na Addo jubilated on that day 46 years ago. He drank wine oboya onumunsa he drank allegedly. Yes. Napa see Akuffo. People were shot. At Champon was shot 10 days earlier, and then those people were free far was brought all the way. 46 exactly. I don't know why you brought me here today. 26 June. I don't know why. Today is exactly 46. And I want to remind everybody. I'm not part of your panel.
But did you ask me to bring you?
No.
But the angels.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Sir, they should know. And they should understand.
Why you are that is why you
time indeed tells a story.
You are the deputy CEO.
Thank you. I take it. I take it. Yes.
Tobo. Yenti ensemodi kan Edu tu dwano.
Sir.
Okekan ye ni ade you do yenti bi.
Yenti kakra.
First one.
Fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be here today to commission the renovated Edu Diplomatic Lodge, a facility that embodies the generosity, vision, and patriotism of one of Ghana's finest sons, Mr. Amishadai Larson Edu, A.L. Edu, as he was popularly known. Today, as we reflect on this exceptional project, we celebrate not only the physical edifice before us, but also the values and legacy of a man who dedicated his life to public service and diplomacy. Mr. A.L. Edu's contributions to Ghana and the international community serve as an enduring reminder of what one individual, guided by a sense of duty and love for his or her nation, can achieve. Ms. Addo was a trailblazer, a man who walked with humility and yet left indelible footprints. His service to the nation is a reflection of his belief that diplomacy is not just a profession, but also a calling to bridge divides, foster understanding, and create lasting change. His work reminds us all of the power of service, and his life is an example for this and future generations of Ghanaians to emulate. Ladies and gentlemen, this lodge is a gateway to possibilities. It has been designed to accommodate Ghanaian and foreign diplomats alike that can shape the future of Ghana and indeed of the world. With its 15 presidential suites, advanced meeting facilities, and cutting-edge translation services, it stands as a beacon of Ghana's commitment to fostering collaboration and addressing global challenges.
Thank you. Alisa.
Mugabe. Emi yao Madam Torkornoo wabetina se harmonize.
Sabe be se wa nyano.
Ehon nyano. Papa Akuffo Addo de adwuma ma wo no. Kwese ne o commission o kamfo.
Alisa da bia me catch you say be circumspect in your reporting.
Yes, that's it.
Do your checks and balance.
That's it.
Into Okasa. Yeah. Okasa with evidence.
Yeah,
evidence
that's it.
based. That is true journalism.
Ma o say Amisha die last in Edu. Edu, whose name stands on the lodge, is a public servant to Ghana and a diplomat par excellence with humility and the kind of diplomacy that brought lasting change to our diplomatic terrain. That's Addo describing Edu, and the lodge has 15 presidential suites, and a host of what big rooms, what you call lounges, to host conferences for even hundreds of people. Yes, air conditioned, recently renovated place. Near Duako baby suitable say Edu Lodge. That's why I said that it is wrong for her to clutch onto that history and even to allegate that people planned in Edu Lodge to murder anybody. Does she have evidence? The Special Investigations Board under Azukrab, they reviewed all that they had. And I'm saying they sentenced people. America was sentenced in absentia. Tony Tekpo was sentenced in absentia. Johnny Jandu, Amate Kwe, and Michael Senya, all of them. And you see, what pains me is that sometimes I look at these people and the family of these people who were murdered. They must do something to prevent even the Ghana Bar Association or even that Supreme Court from using their names again. They drag too much 44 years. They be sorry, they mark you call it. Why not Jesus cano? Yeah, the man will be so for. Aqualana no move for now. Ni mami, ya didn't call ya abducting the car. Obi the secret be free. Sorry, them or the Akuffo mama. I want to ask Koble Japan. Oh my, you be a boy mupena. They should stop using the franchise. Koble Japan can. People would they don't count what some say. Why they hurting the family? Koble Japan cry to me by NDC. Now
Mrs. Redrawn Imoro Ayana. Ono so akasa say the suspended Chief Justice or say did herself no favors by holding the press conference.
Deeper now abonidin Redrawn Imoro Ayana. Unimni papa. Big politician in Ghana. Hey, Alhaji Imoro Ayana. Ask anybody. Yes, in the 79 elections. Very big financier of the PNP.
I feel very pained that a woman that she is, that we all in this country as women have always advocated for more women to be in government structures, more women to hold leadership positions. And then I'm asking, so at the end of the day, assuming that Torkornoo is kicked out, okay, assuming that the recommendation is that she's no longer Chief Justice, and she decides that she wants to take up maybe a position in another international organization, because we've had other people go and do other things after they've left their offices. Who would she be expecting to give her those recommendations? Because your country has to recommend you.
Indeed.
At least say something nice about you for other countries too. So if you go making it look like there's a political agenda, getting onto the government, would you expect the government to be able to give you that recommendation that you are a patriot of this country and that you are somebody that people can rely on and that you're loyal, you have integrity and all that? So she should be thinking of those things. And as much as she wants to get her bites, she should also know that there is a tomorrow. She's still a very young woman. She can hold all forms of positions, and she will need people to vouch for her sometimes in those situations. So
fantastic one. But yeah, my man, we on maybe what I'm seeing this afternoon from the angels, the 900 million angels, Jane Mason will follow her, Bossman will join them, and Apiahino will join them. Yes.
Mugabe,
one to me, Odin Chinabot 1,000. You go to someone? No.
Mugabe, 146 now.
I wanna, but
Mami Okasa Eon, Najimu Do, when you so on Yakwala, she's about 77, if I'm right. She's nearing 80, yes. When you, maybe senior bride is 72, into Mami will be 77 or thereabout. When you see me senior bride.
No, yeah, Papa, the last born. Right?
Yes, I think the last born or the last Oba or very rich man. You more Ayana. You mentioned the name in Ghana's
Ayana family.
Yes, very big woman of the CPP slot. Mugabe, the woman, the Chief Justice, she must be submissive. She must learn to go through the process.
Who didn't tell you?
Show remorse. Mugabe, you don't court on. You say Munti Asemno. At any MP anchor your press conference. That's what I'm saying. That yes, so they said we should keep quiet, submit ourselves to the process until the process was over and we're sentenced.
What you
say? I don't know the only the process because in the middle of the sea, then you are contempt of process.
Private legal practitioner Martin Pebu.
Yeah, hey. A benefit Martin Pebu, professor of law. That's why I said the.
Okay, abusua we ne ensema ekoso ewo political highway no. So suspended Chief Justice Torkornoo NHS. Sisi ano right now the military ni police for omode na chinyina no. Ye withdraw omo. Ye bada mase say moje pene kokoti sa ensemwe edemai. Aha Ghana Politics Avenue. So unsubscribe, subscribe, like and share ma afofron so ensa into me and kabi. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so na be any update be drop bi ano. So onsa ebi to me akabi medamase.